Hi, this is Alicia from artforthecreativesoul.com, your one-stop shop for art education inspired by great Black visual artists and culture. Today, I'm going to do an easy abstract art lesson inspired by the incredible work of artist Mavis Pusey. I'm going to be using black paper and paper scraps, a glue stick, and a black crayon. I'm going to focus on 4 elements of art that include color, shape, space, and texture. Okay, so let's get started with this easy abstract art lesson. I selected 7 shapes from a bag of scrap paper. I got the scrap paper from past projects. I picked some colors that I liked, arranged them on the paper first, and now I'm going to glue each one by placing a little bit of glue around the edge and in the middle, and then as I turn the shapes over to stick them to that black paper, I'm going to massage them to make sure they stick to the paper. I'm overlapping the shapes and I'm filling up the space. Now I have all of the shapes glued to the paper, and I want to take a moment and ask you a question to think about. How do you define the word abstract? So before I move on to the next step of this abstract art piece, I'm going to make sure to put the cap on my glue stick. I don't want it to dry out. Now I'm going to use the black crayon to color around the edge of each shape that I've glued down. As I color around the edge of the shapes, I'm going to color with a little bit more pressure so that I have more intense shading on the edges. As I color in towards the center of the shape, I'm going to use less pressure so that I create a gradient effect while I color. So as I am finishing up coloring around the edges of the shapes, I'm going to go in and add some dots in some of the shapes because this piece is inspired by the really interesting abstract works of art created by the artist Mavis Pusey. I'll leave a link down in the description so that you can see some examples of her work. Another detail about this easy art lesson is that under the mat that I'm coloring on, I've placed a corrugated piece of cardboard. So that's helping to add a little bit of texture to my coloring, and I did that on purpose. So I decided that I also am going to use that black crayon to color on that black background paper. One of the things that I enjoyed about making this abstract art is that I was able to use pieces of paper that I might normally throw away. So I was able to recycle and reuse to make this easy abstract collage. And also, I wanted to share how I define abstract in art. To me, it means non-representational. So make sure you visit our website. Thank you for joining us today. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And visit us at artforthecreativesoul.com to find more great resources and tips inspired by spectacular Black visual artists.